Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I woke up this morning with the same thing on my mind that I had yesterday, and that is what can be said, what can be done that would shake, break, and wake the human race up. I'm thinking about all the leadership that we have in our cities. We got a mayor, we got aldermen, or whatever they might be called. We got the city government. We call it sometimes local government. And what their job is to make sure that they keep reins on the people of their cities, to make sure that their wants and their needs are met, to make sure that they can live and enjoy the life within that city, which means they have to be aware of what's going on. They must be aware of what is available to them. And at that point, be able to go to the governor in case they do not find solutions to everything that they need. And it is the governor's responsibility and the Senate and whatever parts are necessary to complete their government is to make sure that they have whatever is required to meet the lackings of the various cities within their state. They are to protect with every means necessary the leadership and the people of these various cities within that state. That is the governor's job. And if something is missing and they don't have everything that they need to take care of the responsibility, then they have to go to the federal government. They're supposed to go to the President of the United States and the Congress and that whole operation to let them know what is failing within the states, what is failing within the cities, and offer some solutions to what is necessarily required to fix these problems. That's the governors of all of these states. That's their responsibility. And it is the responsibility of the president, it's the responsibility of the federal government to make sure that the state government and the local governments are fed exactly what they need. And if you can't do that, you don't have a real reason to be a mayor or in the local government or a governor or in that form of the government or a president or in that form of the government. And it's bad enough that these people find themselves in a position that they can't handle. It's even worse for the people to feel and recognize the shortcomings of their leadership, to recognize the shortcomings of their government and accept it. That is really ridiculous. But I think about it often. I think about people who take an oath, say that they're going to protect the citizens, they're going to protect the government, they're going to protect the Constitution, and they're going to do all of this with any enemy. That is, whether it's abroad or whether it's domestic. That means looking at one another, making sure one another does not get out of line. Make sure that one another walk in line with that which has been chosen. And the people are made sure that that which is chosen is that which works for every last one of them. It doesn't work necessarily for blacks only, doesn't work necessarily for whites only, or anyone else only. It works for everybody. And see, this is where I recognize that the problem has failed. Nobody is talking about everybody. They use everybody just to be talking, but they have no intent for everybody. Do you know when Bill Clinton was president, he could play that saxophone? I think that was him. And he seemed to have been real cool. Yeah, he seemed to be real cool. But what did he do for the people, for all of the people? Ask yourself, what lingers on that he did for all the people that is magnificent today, during both of his terms? So if he didn't do what I just got through describing, he failed. But it was not just he alone. It was the state and the local and you, the people, that failed. And when George W. Bush came along, what was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to bring to the scene? He was supposed to bring the same thing that was expected of Bill Clinton. But did he provide? He did. Just like Bill Clinton came up short, left the people hanging, left the people wanting. And most folks thought that Bill Clinton was working only for Democrats and not Republicans, thought George Bush was working for Republicans and not Democrats. That means right there you knew from the beginning before you even started you weren't going anywhere. But yet you allowed that to go move forward. And then came Barack Obama. The dream come true. A black man finally got in the White House. The world was happy. Now let's see what the black folks gonna do. And in America, some of the most dissatisfied people were black people because the black people have suffered so long and so bad and so terribly in America that they were hoping that this black man would do something different. And he did. He brought in this health care. Everybody know you benefited from it. It wasn't perfect, but you benefited from it. And that's about, everything else went on just like it did with Bill Clinton, went on with George Bush, pain and suffering, lack of this and lack of that. None of that stuff was met. And then, oh my, here comes hell. Here comes hell. And people had said, well, the Republican good guy didn't work, Democrat good guy didn't work. So let's bring in hell and see what hell does. And hell did exactly what it was programmed to do. Brought hell, hell, hell. Not only was this guy not concerned about the public, he was concerned about himself. He didn't need Congress, didn't need the Department of Justice. He just needed his own mind because he was, according to him, he's the smartest person in America. But not only the smartest person in America, he's the smartest person in the world. And he should not only be king of America, he should be king of the world. And the people were so happy about it, they made him president twice. I mean, once they made him president, they kicked him out, didn't vote for him the next time. And then they came back and brought him back again. Ain't that something? So, what is the problem? The problem is the people. You choose these leaders. Let me go back before I leave. What about the general? The generals, the guys with the guns, the guys with the bombs. These are the guys who said that they took it oath to protect not just the Constitution, because the Constitution and all that stuff is about the people. And they were going to protect the people from foreign troubles, domestic troubles. But domestic troubles running all over the scene. They're not doing anything. Look at Trump. Trump has done anything he wanted to do. And where are the presidents? Where are the ex-governors? Where are these ex-presidents? Where are the people that's so smart, that's taking these oaths, that's going to protect this nation's people from corruption, from all this stuff? They are asleep. And you know what? The most of the people have been tricked to believe? Been tricked to believe that the wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes and tornadoes and floods and all that stuff indicates that Jesus is on the return, and they are just sitting back hoping that Jesus come back and deliver them from this hell that they've created. And that's what they've been taught to believe. You would think when things got worse and worse and worse, you straighten up, you get it fixed. That's what the prodigal son did. That guy that was running away and got caught with the fish, Jonah, they brought him back. Nobody gets away from this stuff thinking that somebody's going to deliver you. No, you have a responsibility in life. That's why you are here, not to suck life out of folks. You're not here just to be a cancer to the human race. You're here to be treatment if the problem exists, and to make sure that these problems that after you've dealt with them, they don't come back. But you don't know that, because in order for you to know that, somebody got to tell you about a God. Somebody got to tell you about a God that made the earth, that supplied the earth with all that it has, that made you and supplied you with all that you have, and gave you the needs, the ability to understand, gave you the ability to dream, to do, to participate, to make sure that this thing, as far as humans are concerned, never runs out. It'll just get better and better. But you didn't hear that. You heard the message of somebody's better than others, and they should be privileged. That's what you heard. And you also heard that it was okay for men to run the show, to tell women what to do, to control everybody. Then you got the message that white folks, we especially what white people are, They're supposed to run the show. And I guess what black people are, they got doing the same thing. I can't take it away from them. I'm sure they're doing that same damn thing that white folks are doing. Because nowhere are people respecting and honoring the God that made them. They honoring the God that sold them. So I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, we are as unique as a diamond, but we don't know it. We're just as precious as gold, but we don't know it because we've been lied to and we bought into the lie. And when God sends someone, choose someone like me to come and tell you that even though you've done all this stuff, you can be forgiven if you want to and change your mind and stop walking down this path of listening to men who are taking you straight to hell, who are robbing you, and listen to an invisible power that says the way up is the straight up. Do it right. Do for others as you'd have others to do for you. God has already prepared everything that you need outside of yourselves. Everything that you need outside of yourselves has already been provided by them, by the invisible power. And your ability to take care and handle the things that are required of human beings to do to make this thing perfect have been given to you. The only thing that's a little bit different is that you have been given choice. Nobody wants you in heaven if you don't want to be in heaven. And there's nobody going to forgive you and bring you to heaven when you have done everything you possibly could to reject heaven. So stop believing the lie. If you don't want heaven, you're not going to get it. And if you wanted heaven, the evidence would be known by what you're doing where you're at right now. And where you're at right now, we're so dead blasted far from heaven, it's like we're in hell already. So my message to you is this. Nobody owns anything. I know we've been led to believe that Standard Oil, Amco, or these other names that got their titles on stuff. We've been led to believe just because they conjured up a system that made it okay for this to happen for them and all of the other suffering and stuff to happen to the rest of us as it falls. I know we've been accepted to believe that, but the thing about the truth is supposed to open your eyes. These folks didn't make no oil. These folks didn't make diamonds. These folks didn't even make trees. These folks didn't even make food. God did all of that. And what are they doing controlling it? To the extent that some got and some don't. Some work and some won't. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's ignorant. That's foolishness. And that appears to be just what we are. Dumb, stupid, ignorant fools. That's exactly what it appears to anyone that knows that you can have your needs, your wants, and your desires met. Anyone who knows that you, the people, have the ability to make sure that anything that any of you would ever want would be there in such an abundance that anybody that wanted of it would be able to access it. Man, oh man, oh man. Anybody that's listening to the Spirit of God know that you can live in peace and be prosperous, free, joyous, happy, fulfilled, satisfied, and live the life instead of dreaming about it. So that opens up your eyes. And if you can't see that, you got to be dumb. If you can't see that, you got to be stupid. If you can't see that, you got to be ignorant. If you can't see that, you got to be a fool. And admit it. Don't think you got a doggone thing going on if you can't see the will of God. And if you can't see the will of God, don't think you got nothing going on if you don't want to see it. So, what I want to tell you today is the hell that we're living in. We are all responsible for it. We, the people, mostly, because our leadership represents who we are. The ugliness that Donald Trump exhibits throughout this country and throughout the world, it represents us. If you don't think it does, ask the people in France. If you don't think it does, ask the people in Iraq. If you don't think it does, ask the people in Japan. If you don't think it does, ask the people in China. If you don't think it does, ask the people in Africa. If you don't think it does, ask the people over in the so-called Israel. If you don't think it does, ask the people in Iran. They will tell you that the American people have lost their way. No way could they accept a president that would be as evil as Donald Trump unless they were there themselves. Well, If you don't like it, change it. Because if you don't change it, it's just going to get worse and worse. Think about the people that woke up this morning, had all kind of responsibilities to do, and they looked to check the checkbook and nothing was there, or if it was, not enough. And so they're wondering, what we're going to do now? Instead of being excited about the day, instead of being happy, they're depressed. They might want to go shoot up, smoke some weed, get drunk, go grab a prostitute or a gigolo. Just pass the time away, thinking that maybe it would make things feel a little bit better momentarily. That's the devil all the way. But I come to tell you, God still is God. And in all of the things that you've done, all of this hell we've created, God is willing to forgive you when you wake up and see, change your mind. Then God was willing to forgive you because now it's like a brand new start. But just going to church, talking, listen to somebody talk, then act like you got something going on, taste succulent, don't mean a darn thing to God. It's the way you treat one another that reflects who you really are. Jesus came to treat one another like God wanted us treated. We missed the mark. I guess I'll stop here. Thank you so very much for giving me your time. I know I didn't say anything new. Might have said it around a different kind of way to affect a different group of people. But it's the same message. It hasn't changed. The next time, goodbye.